The private terminal at the intergalactic airport was as opulent as it was busy. Grayson Marlowe, a wealthy human entrepreneur, adjusted his tailored suit and surveyed the spaceport through the massive windows. His luxury starship was refueling nearby, but his mind was far from the impending business meeting on Andros IV. Instead, he was thinking of how far humanity had come since they had become members of the Galactic Federation. As he scanned the crowd of travelers, something caught his eye: an elderly alien lady struggling with what appeared to be a hovercart filled with luggage. Her pale, silver skin shimmered under the artificial lights, and her frail arms shook as she attempted to maneuver the cart through the throng of passengers. She wore traditional robes from a race Grayson didn't immediately recognize. It was clear she wasn't accustomed to traveling alone. Without hesitation, Grayson strode over to offer assistance. His innate sense of decency always kicked in when he saw someone in need, and it didn't matter whether they were human or alien. "Excuse me, ma'am, do you need a hand?" Grayson asked, his tone polite and reassuring. The elderly alien looked up, her vibrant violet eyes locking with his. There was something ancient, almost ageless, about her gaze. She paused for a moment, seemingly surprised that anyone would approach her. Then, with a soft nod, she gestured to her luggage. "Thank you, young man," she said, her voice a soft, melodic hum. "These hovercarts are not as nimble as they claim to be." Grayson chuckled and grabbed the handle, guiding the cart with ease toward a quieter corner of the terminal. The elderly alien woman walked slowly beside him, leaning on her ornate staff. "I'm Grayson Marlowe," he introduced himself casually. "Are you traveling alone?" The woman's eyes twinkled with amusement. "I suppose you could say that. My name is Aureliana." Grayson had no idea that he was speaking to the Empress of the Silurian Empire, one of the most powerful and influential figures in the galaxy. The Silurian Empire spanned multiple star systems, and a word alone could shift the balance of power across the Federation. Her presence in a common terminal without an entourage was nearly unheard of. Yet here she was, unnoticed by the majority of the passengers around them, likely due to a deliberate choice on her part. As they approached the waiting area, Grayson noticed that the old woman was slightly out of breath. He quickly helped her to a bench, ensuring she was comfortable before resuming his conversation. "You don't see many Silurians at the public terminals," Grayson commented, trying to recall the little he knew about their culture. "Are you heading somewhere far?" Aureliana smiled softly, her expression almost cryptic. "One could say I've traveled farther than most could imagine." As they continued to talk, Grayson found himself charmed by her wisdom and wit. She spoke of distant worlds, ancient traditions, and the changing tides of the galaxy as though she had lived through centuries of history. Grayson found it hard to believe someone so important hadn't attracted more attention. Suddenly, a group of officials and guards entered the terminal, their presence impossible to miss as they searched the area with urgency. One of them locked eyes with Aureliana, their expression instantly transforming into one of alarm. They rushed over, causing a commotion. "Empress Aureliana," the lead guard exclaimed, bowing deeply. "We've been searching for you. Please allow us to escort you to your private quarters." Grayson's heart skipped a beat. "Empress." He looked at the elderly woman beside him, stunned. The pieces began to fall into place, the regal bearing, the stories of ancient empires, the subtle aura of command. This was no ordinary alien. She was the ruler of one of the most powerful empires in the galaxy. Aureliana, however, remained calm and gave Grayson an amused glance. "It seems my quiet moment is over." Grayson stammered, trying to piece together his thoughts. "I didn't know." The Empress chuckled softly, patting his hand. "And that, young human, is exactly why I enjoyed our conversation so much. It's not often I meet someone who doesn't treat me like I'm made of glass. You offered your help out of kindness, not obligation." As the guards prepared to escort her away, Aureliana turned back to Grayson one last time. "You have a good heart, Grayson Marlowe. The galaxy could use more humans like you." With that, she left, surrounded by her entourage. Grayson stood there, still processing what had just happened. He had unknowingly helped one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy, and yet all she had needed in that moment was a simple act of kindness. As Grayson walked back to his ship, he couldn't help but smile. The galaxy was vast and filled with wonders, but sometimes it was the small, unexpected moments that mattered the most. As Grayson stood there watching the Empress and her entourage disappear into the crowd, he couldn't help but shake his head in disbelief. He had just casually helped the ruler of a vast empire without even knowing it. What struck him more, though, was her warmth and humility. She wasn't some untouchable monarch wrapped in layers of protocol. ship and a person in need of help. Grayson chuckled to himself. Well, that's going to be a hell of a story to tell back home. His communicator buzzed, reminding him that it was time to board his own flight. But as he made his way toward his ship, he couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of wonder for the galaxy and the countless lives that intertwined within it. He had learned something far more valuable than what any business deal could offer. No matter how rich, powerful, or important someone might be, sometimes all they need is a little kindness from a stranger. With that thought lingering in his mind, Grayson smiled. The galaxy, it seemed, still had a few surprises left in store for him.